Hey everybody, it's my first live stream, and I'm testing out the new Q&A feature. I have no idea if anybody's going to join this, or see it, or like it, or care about it, but I'm here, and I'm going to try it out. I might post this, and I might not. Who knows? But let's see if we get any questions here. Hello, Mary Ashley Craver. How are you? If you have a question, please drop it in the comments below. I'm going to try to share this out and see if we can get more people to come on here. Hello, Sydney. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to go ahead and share that out. And I'm going to share it on Twitter real quick, doing a live. Let's see. All right, let's see who else we got. We got 2 people so far. Awesome. Let's see if we can get some more. I just sent out updates to my social media. Do either of y'all have any questions for me right now? Or questions that you might know the answers to already, but that you might think that other people might be able to benefit from? What is the number one misconception that people have about dwarfism? Number one misconception, this is kind of a little bit of a trope, but I would say probably is that we're not able to do most of the stuff that average size people are able to do, like drive a car, things like that. When in reality, most of the time, it's not about if we can do it, but how we can do it. So that's why I try to approach a lot of like problem solving in my life. It's not necessarily if I can solve it, but going in with the attitude of how I can solve it. And so I think it's actually been a little bit of a gift in that sense as I come across non physically challenging questions or scenarios. What's the most frequently asked questions that I've received throughout my life? One of them is, what's the most common misconception about dwarfism? Oh man, I'd have to say that's actually one of the more recent ones lately. Let's see here. Have you ever experienced discrimination in the workplace or the hiring process? I would have said no until recently, but I don't know what that scenario necessarily is. And I would not say that had to do with my physicality. So, as far as it pertains to my physicality, no, I have not. Hello, everyone joining. Thank you for joining. Um, oh, I like this question. Have I ever fought a bear with a pocket knife? I don't have a pocket knife, so the answer is that is no. But if you'd like to get me one, I will possibly do a video on fighting a bear. Just know that I'm not specifying what kind of bear it is. It could be a stuffed bear. It may be a teddy bear. But, it might be a grizzly. You never can tell. Let's see. Have I ever been offended by someone who made a joke about dwarfism? Um, have I ever been offended? Sure. Sure. I've been offended. Offended is a word I don't really love using for myself because I don't really feel like I'm not the kind of human to be offended by a lot of things just because I am a very offensive humor type person. Like I don't take a lot of things very seriously unless they're intended to be taken seriously. And so therefore I try to keep the context of a joke and understanding of my reaction to a joke to the environment in which that joke is told. And so I think the only time that I would have had a reaction to it negative, I wouldn't necessarily say been offended, is if it was a joke that was told at the expense of someone's humility in front of a group of people. Now, if you walk into the comedy club, there's no holds bar for me as far as like jokes that people say in comedy clubs or any kind of thing like that. That goes for any kind of demographic or um, uh, what's the word, protected classes of people. I think that you can laugh about any type of thing just because that's just human nature. Is life's too short not to see life's too short not to see the humor in a lot of things. So did I think has the joking and stuff become better in recent years as there's a large drive of inclusivity in society? Actually, that's a good question. I believe the answer to that is actually yes. I was telling my wife Cassie this the other day that I have seen a shift in the latest generation of kids. I would say, like, I guess millennial children slash now Gen Z children. Uh, that generation of kids, I don't know, maybe under 8 these days, they seem to be a lot more accepting about differences. They seem to be less scary than they used to be in public places like the mall or amusement park or whatever. I think to them, like, okay, that's just someone else who's different, like someone who might be covered in tattoos or someone who, I don't know, something that they might not be used to seeing. They don't have a negative connotation with um, being different. And I think that's a really good shift that I've seen in a lot of parents and guardians and whoever's raising these kids doing a good job, mostly. Um, Tell us the story. Oh, hang on. Is it considered a disability? It is considered a disability. Um, Disability is a weird word, and I know handy capable is way too cheesy on the other end of the spectrum. But I say I fall somewhere in between there. Like, I'm not going to let it hinder me from everything in life. However, are there literal times when I go out in public that I am not able to do something because I wasn't able to plan for a scenario? Yes. So I would say if you can walk out your door and not have to think about where you're going and how you're going to do things when you get there, um, that is a gift because that's not something that is afforded to me. I have to think about where I'm going every time and think about my environment and my surroundings. And from switching to freelance recently, I would say that that is something that is more prevalent because now if I'm doing a photography session or like videography or something for a client, and there's a much higher percentage of chance that I'm going to be going new places I've never been coming up, and even in the last month and a half, 2 months that I've been freelance, um, than there has been in the last decade. So it's definitely going to be something that I have to think about more. But it is also something that Cassie and I have to think about when we're traveling, about vacations, things like that. um, Tell us the story about how you got your drone back. I appreciate the question, but I think it's a little bit of a troll and not the topic that I want to get on for this video. But thank you for the question. But on to a more on topic question: where do I buy my clothes? I want to be stylish like you. I mean, a lot of people do. I got this shirt at Target. Hey, um, but no, seriously, I think it depends more on the brand than the clothing and there are certain brands that I find that just fit my body better. My type of dwarfism is kinese dysplasia, so my body type's a lot different than other dwarves. So my chest is more protruding, my neck is non-existent, and like some stuff like my fingers are not as stubby as other types of dysplasias that are out there. And so, that being said, shirts and shorts and things, I tend to gravitate towards short sleeve shirts and shorts, as opposed to pants and long sleeve, just because I don't have to deal with tailoring them. Um, I have not worked somewhere ever where I've had like a super strict dress code, and that's part of the draw. That was part of the draw to the places that I've been in the past, that I could kind of wear what I needed to wear in order to not just be comfortable. I mean, but really just to be functional, because no one wants to walk around with inches of clothing hanging off of you for no reason. So, what other questions might there be? It's okay if there's no more. We may have reached the end here. Trying to tell other people. We'll get some more people here in the moment before I have to go eat. Let me see when dinner time is. Oh, never mind. I don't think it has been started yet, so we're good. What other questions do y'all have? Anything? Let's see, we got 6 people here. Come on, surely someone has something. Some of y'all have already asked me stuff in the past. I'm aware, but um, any plans to? Oh, that's a great question. Yes, the answer is yes. I just got done recording the very first episode of season 2 3 minutes before I hopped on this live stream. In fact, I still have all of my equipment set up like I did, so I was like, I might as well just hop on and try this new Q&A feature. So yes, that is season 2 is coming back. I hope to have all the episodes recorded before the end of the year. I have a few scheduled and a few people that have said yes, but they don't know when yet. But I don't know when I'm going to publish. I was telling my first guest that my intention originally wasn't to publish that episode first, the one that I recorded today, but it ended up being so good that I might just not really care. I kind of want to catch everybody up on what's been going on with me in one of the beginning episodes of the season, and you'll see why, because it's kind of this is going to be a themed season for season 2, and the theme is, why do you create? So my first season was a little bit kind of just getting different perspectives of different people in my life and just kind of seeing and having good conversations and stuff. But I'm going to try to be a little bit more pointed with season 2, and let that kind of be the question. What brand of shoes do you wear? Well, I actually did a whole YouTube short on this question. There's a brand now that I'm very loyal to that I really like a lot called Kiziks, Kiziks, and their whole shtick is, actually, hang on a second, and I'll grab them. I'll show you. So their whole shtick is that they have heels that do not collapse. So, in other words, if you're like me and because of some surgeries that I've had because of my dwarfism, I can't bend down to tie my shoes or to like lift this part of the shoe when it's on my foot or to pull the tongue out or whatever. Kiziks is on a mission to create a brand of shoe that no shoe in their entire lineup is going to make you do those things. So if you look inside the area here, this little tongue piece, it's all one piece. There's no separation. And It's more prevalent on the outside of some other models of their shoe, but you can't really see it. But in here, this is very stiff, rigid back area that you can really push down hard. And I don't know if you can kind of see how it kind of slopes a little bit right here. But basically, when you slide your foot in, it goes down and pops right back up. You don't ever have to worry about like the tongue getting stuck or the back getting caught up or whatever being the case that I've had happen with countless other shoes. So the fact that that was a great, and then they actually fit my feet, which is really nice too. And they have different like adult models that fit my feet, which is great. And this is a random shout out, but these guys right here, they are called Foot Levelers. They're based in Virginia, and I saw one of my chiropractor here in the area that I live, and he recommended them. That's really all he does business with is these guys because they've been in business for like 60 years. But these orthotics, they're freaking amazing, and I recommend them to anybody. They look how like thin they are, and they're incredibly supportive. So I really recommend it. You can; these are all custom made, and he had a little machine that I guess is from the company that they give different offices, around the area, around the U.S. or whatever. They basically 3D scans your foot, and it sees all the pressure points of your foot and how crappy your posture is, and essentially it really tries to course correct different types of leaning and things people do that really lead to bad wear and tear on anything upward from your ankle to the rest of your body. Like there's a lot of stuff in orthopedic world, and I'm sure Dr. Craver, who's on here, can tell you the same, or was on here, that it can lead to so many different problems. So I'm a big evangelist in wearing shoes these days, even around the house. I don't wear those. I have like some really supportive house shoes, but if your back hurts or your feet hurt, try doing that for like a week. I bet you'll notice a huge difference. Let's see. Best Apple Watch band. Good question. Another one I just came to the conclusion of and recommended to my mom and stepfather earlier today. And that is the Trail Loop for the Ultra. Um, and you can see how thin this thing is. It is akin to the Sport Loop, but what makes this a little bit more premium is that I don't know if you can see, but the Velcro is here on the tip, and the part that the Velcro attaches to is only on the outside of this band. On the Sport Loop, it also has it on the inside, but on the Trail Loop, it's just a very like soft, supple, velvety feel, and so it doesn't. I guess in the fact that they can't just go and make this same material right here on both sides, and it takes more manufacturing. It does cost a little bit more than the Sport Loop, but it's also very thin. Doesn't get in the way when I'm typing. It does pretty decently getting wet and drying. I mean, it definitely does better than other bands. It is a cloth style band at the end of the day, but it's also just super easy to get on and off. So that's my favorite band at the moment. um, yes, it's. I mean, it's not the least expensive band, but sometimes I don't mind spending a little bit of a premium on something that is like on my person all the time. But that's just me. Best type of exercise for dwarves? Great question. I would say the answer to this question is the same for anybody dealing with orthopedic issues or stress on your joints, and that's swimming. Not only is it going to allow you to be more buoyant and take that pressure off all the joints in your body at once, it's also going to allow you, because of that, to freely move your body. And you are still in water, so there is still resistance and you are able to get some kind of workout, which ends up being more, um, I guess, uh, full body versus like just cardio or just lifting or something. Because when you swim, you have no choice but to move every part of your body. So you're getting a very good like overall workout with the added benefit of not having to worry about your joints hurting. Have I ever tried acupuncture? I actually have not tried acupuncture. I have done laser therapy, which is what I did through the same chiropractor who I saw, who is more of a holistic, not like not he still practices normal like chiropractic stuff, but he does a good job of trying to integrate other things to help prevent having to even do that. And part of his practice this year, they brought in laser therapy, class 4 laser therapy. If you're not familiar with that, Google it. It's still pretty new, and that did do some help in my hip area. I have a little bit of residual pain from where I had orthopedic surgeries when I was younger, in my left hip in particular. And that seems to be, if I sit too long or whatever, that seems to be what wears out fast, fast more quickly than others. So that's a lot of times why you see me sitting on my knees like this. If you've ever noticed me sitting strange or whatever, you've ever wondered, like, why do I sit on my knees? It's because it hurts me a lot quicker and a lot shorter time to sit the other way. So eventually I get fatigued on sitting up for too long, and it wears me out. So um, favorite drink, I mean, if I guess a go-to IPAs. If you're talking about, yeah, you said alcoholic, so IPAs. I'm a bitter. I like bitter stuff. Um, does dwarfism increase the risk factor for other health related issues like high blood pressure, etc.? Good question. It can, however, it has more to do with genetics and your type of dwarfism than dwarfism itself, if that makes sense. So, my dwarfism is the result of genetic mutation, and so no one else in my family has had it, nor has it or has gotten it since me. And that, however, though, if I were to choose to have children one day, there is a 50-50 chance, and then that increases and decreases. You have to do this weird, like, Gantt chart when you have an average sized person like my wife and me. The more kids you have, the chances change every time. Just like in for any couple, the chances that once you have two of the same sex in a row, the chances of you continuing to have the same sex over and over again increases by like 80%. It's very odd. But anyway, there's some like chart you can do, and the first one would be like 50-50. So, but the answer to that question is my particular type of dwarfism. I can tell you that it does come with some like features, which include nearsightedness or myopia, hearing loss, um, bowed knees, cleft palate. I had one of those on the inside. Um, a flatter nose is another characteristic. My chest being more out is a characteristic. So there are both outward skeletal type things that are more what dwarfism has to do with, and then there are also some like common things that come along as side effects to certain type of dwarfism. So mine happen to be those, but achondroplasia dwarves have more issues with their hand joints, and less issues though like with their like ability to walk, or like a lot of my specific issues have been about my feet and my knees and things, and it varies so widely. So to answer your question, yes, there are predetermined things, just like any other genetic thing that might happen to you. Just, I don't know, because let's say you have high blood pressure, as an example, just as that example. I do have high blood pressure, believe it or not, but it's not because I'm a dwarf. It's because my dad has it and it runs in our family. So it's kind of a mix. It's really nice being a mutant sometimes. Not really. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe I can be in a Marvel movie now that they're introducing them. Hashtag no spoilers. And I don't know. Marvel, give me a call. Disney, call me. Come on, Kevin. So anyway, any other questions? I still have a little bit more time. You guys are dropping off. It looks like. Anybody see my? If you haven't seen the hot chip video that I uploaded the other day, I think it's pretty funny, and that most people would like it. So if you haven't, go check that out. If you have, thank you. I have heard lots of good feedback about the video, and it was kind of on a whim. But the I ended up going to my barber shop, and that environment proved to be pretty funny because they really like razzing me there, and I don't mind it because I know it's all in good fun. So I might go back and film other videos there if you want to see more from Roseville Barbershop because you like the environment. Let me know in the comments or something. Or if you want to see more of me suffering, let me know, I guess. That is actually another genetic thing since we're on topic. I do have less disposition to spice. I learned all this, by the way. I did a DNA test, and you can take them and you can upload them to places that tell you about your traits. And because of my dwarfism, I'm just always naturally curious about genetics in general. And this site told me like some about like my taste and just general personality characteristics and things like that. And one of the things I learned is that I have less susceptibility to bitterness, which is why I tend to like bitter things more, like vinegar and hot. And I'm not saying that hot is bitter, but they're kind of on the same spectrum. And so it's interesting to kind of see that the chip I had is not going to affect everyone the same way. So it's really it comes down to genetics. Well, if there's no other questions, I might wrap it up here. Looks like we've been on for about a half hour. I appreciate you guys joining. I hope it's been interesting. I've never done this. This Q&A feature just came out yesterday, and I was really curious to try it out. So thank you for doing that with me, and I like this format. I would like to do more in the future. So if you haven't subscribed or you want to be notified when I'm live again, just go down and click notify. I think there's a separate. I think you can do like different notifications. But anyway, so I hope you had a great day and hope you continue to have a great evening. Thank you.